Okay. So we have most of the role players with us today, and we're just waiting for the speakers to set up. But meanwhile, we will start the meeting. So first of all, good evening to good evening to everyone, and most welcome to this historic meeting. Historic, why? For two reasons. First of all, we are gathered here to celebrate uh, a few achievements made by our members during the past year, and also to commemorate the memory of our founder, DTM Dr. Salim. And that commemoration will be adequately and appropriately done by someone who I think belongs in the same ranks as DTM Dr. Salim. You can all guess who he is, DTM Samir Ahmed Dhodi. Before we come to that, our president will not be able to join today, so I have to open the meeting and take you through the opening segments of the meeting. So first of all, just give me a second. So as you can see, first I would like to show you something, everyone. This is what you're missing, and we have, mashallah, so many people, and not only they will reap the benefits of an in-person attendance, they will also enjoy the unforgettable, unparalleled, incomparable tea of Beech Luxury Hotel. So it's your loss. You chose not to come, and so there it is. So, being the acting president of the club, first of all, I will welcome you, all of you. I won't go over the history of Toastmasters this time because, first of all of you are very familiar with it. And secondly, uh, today there's another kind of history that needs to be discussed more. Uh, so I will skip over that part, and instead, I will just straight away ask our guest, 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗎𝗪 to introduce himself and how he heard about this club. So, Mr. 𝗙𝗙𝗧𝗎𝗪, if you can share with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmasters. So my name is 𝗙𝗙𝗧𝗎𝗪, and currently I'm studying at Ryerson, Toronto, Canada. And how I heard about I was just looking for clubs here in Pakistan, so I just got to see like there's a club in Karachi because right now I'm in Karachi for now. So that's how I just checked your club through the Toastmasters portal, and I just dropped a message there. So yeah, I'm hopeful it's going to be a good meeting, and it's nice to meet you all. Over to you, Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you so much. Well, we welcome you. We welcome you to this forum, and trust me, you've come to the right place. Inshallah, you'll enjoy the meeting. So, what have we gathered to celebrate here today? I will merge the introduction and the business section in one, and I will start by announcing who completed our pathways, at least one pathway during this year. And all of you, the good news is that all of you will get trophies. However, they will take some time because they cannot be dispatched electronically, they will be dispatched in person. So, first of all, and here is our VPPR doing VPPR things.
Hello everyone.
Yeah. So,
We are live actually.
yeah. Oh, wow. That's great. So please set up the things so that we can go full hybrid mode because there's actually no point in having a meeting like this while going all the way to Beech Luxury. So yes, we will get tea though. So let's set these things up. So Toastmaster Shamam Khan completed strategic relationships pathway. A huge round of applause. And everyone, you're not exempt from applauding, please. Yeah. Toastmaster Babar Ali Hussain, presentation mastery. Toastmaster Javed Bhatti, presentation mastery. Toastmaster Amir Bilal. Toastmaster Amir Bilal, effective coaching. Please, applause is needed. Completing a pathway is no mean feat. And most of you, of all people, should be applauding because most of you are stuck at level 1, 2, 3, or 4. So the magnitude of this achievement is quite large. Okay. Okay. I've been told to move.
Please, Keta.
Please came quite late, but nevertheless. Okay. Yeah.
And what was the
Continuing on to the
This has to go into the
pathways
laptop?
completers. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗍𝗧𝗧 presentation mastery. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧 visionary communication. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗹𝗧𝗀 dynamic leadership. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧 presentation mastery. And Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧 once again dynamic leadership. So our members have completed a total of 10 pathways so far. And what's more, 3 or 4 members are on level 4. So they will complete those pathways very soon, inshallah. Most of you would not know this, and I wish our president was here. But it was our president, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗍𝗧𝗧, who actually delivered the first ever pathways project. And she did her icebreaker in her selected pathway. Now, where is her name in the list? I'm not the one to answer it. So I wish she was here. She would have answered it quite well. But that is some of the achievements that we are celebrating today. Secondly, we are celebrating a whole lot of contest winners. And the contest winners are, we've had 4 contests up till now. Okay. And the first contest was table topics contest. Third place was Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧. Second place, Toastmaster Mariam. And first place, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧. So again, huge round of applause. Evaluation contest. Third place, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧. Second place, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗑𝗏 and first place, Toastmaster 𝗠𝗚𝗏 𝗙𝗏𝗏. Tall Tales. Toastmaster Rama Uneep, third place, Toastmaster 𝗠𝗚𝗏 𝗙𝗏𝗏, second place, and Toastmaster Lateef Mansoor Ali, first place. And finally, the big one, International Speech Contest. Kind of a deja vu. I don't know why we held the contest at all. But anyway, third place, Toastmaster Mariam Arif. Second place, Toastmaster 𝗠𝗚𝗏 𝗙𝗏𝗏. And first place, Toastmaster Javed Bhatti. With that, we also are pleased to announce that we became the #1 club in the world in terms of education certification for 1 week. For 1 week. And now we have been knocked by another club to #2 position. But think about it. Who could ever imagine that out of all the clubs in the world, out of every country in the world, out of all the districts who are super active, out of all the people out of all the clubs who have tons of members and tons of activity, who could have thought that one club from Pakistan will reach #1 and currently at #2? We haven't given up though. We haven't given up. We might well end the year in #1 position, but even if we end the year in top 5, it will be an unimaginable, unprecedented achievement. What's more, Karachi Toastmasters Club belongs at the 19th place in the all-time list of education awards for last year. So last year, we had 80 educational awards, and we stand at the 19th place in the all-time list. So again, out of thousands of clubs in the world, 17,000 clubs in the world, we are at the 19th place. Currently, we are at #2, and we aim to finish the year, inshallah, in top 5. And that achievement solely belongs to all of you. Everyone who has made a speech, everyone who has done an evaluation, everyone who has contributed to this effort. we salute all of you, and we believe that there could be no more fitting reward than belonging to one of the world's best clubs. And now, yeah, okay, let me just align myself. Okay, okay, so
पिन कर देंगे ना हमको जो बोलेगा
ठीक है. Okay, and now moving on from the business portion to the education session, we have someone as Toastmaster of the Day who has nurtured this club and so many other clubs with his blood, toil, and sometimes tears. We never saw the tears, but we could sense them in his messages. And Karachi Toastmasters Club is not just one club. Did you know that all the clubs in Division B except one, and that's a very pleasant exception. We want to do nothing, we want to have to do nothing with that exception. All the clubs have been founded by members of Karachi Toastmasters Club. So that makes 11 clubs. Entire Division B owes its existence to Karachi Toastmasters Club. And Karachi Toastmasters Club owes its existence to our founder, DTM Dr. Salim, and people like our Toastmaster of the day, DTM 𝗙𝗪𝗦𝗀𝗧. I hand over the floor over to our Toastmaster of the day, DTM Sameer. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, PQD Tala. I really appreciate your kind words. Sir Isaac Newton stated, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. In this case, the giant, as DTM Tala already mentioned, was Dr. Salim. By the way, Dr. Salim didn't officially found the club. It was there, but it was very unorganized, meaning it wasn't registered. It was just a few people with some old manuals giving speeches and just chatting away. When he came, he said, no, we must be registered. We must be officially aligned with Toastmasters International. And it was his drive and vision that drove the club on. Today, we are one of the top clubs, not only in Pakistan, but as DTM Tala mentioned, the whole world. And I think it was Dr. Salim's vision that kept us going. Of course, what is happening today is due to the effort of the executive committee, the effort of the members, but as I said, the foundation was laid by Dr. Salim Ahmed. If he wasn't here, there would have been no Karachi Toastmasters Club. I don't think that we would have ever been able to come to a territorial council and very soon, I hope, a district level. So you see, one man can make a difference. And I think for Toastmasters in Pakistan, that one man was Dr. Salim Ahmed. So as I said, remember who came before you and remember who put in the effort. And in this case, I definitely acknowledge that Dr. Salim Ahmed is the person to whom Toastmasters in Pakistan owe a great deal of gratitude and thanks. And now I will go on to the meeting. The meeting will first be in 3 segments. First segment, prepared speeches. Second, table topics, impromptu speaking. And third, and I think one of the most important, evaluation feedback. I will now request the role players of today to please give some details of what they will be doing. Our grammarian is Toastmaster Umar Hayat. Umar Hayat, please give details of your role, grammarian.
Fellow Toastmasters, my role as the grammarian is to record incorrect use of language. At the end of the meeting, I will present a report without giving any names. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Umar. Then our counter is Toastmaster Taha.
Okay, so I'm going to evaluate on the speeches when people are making or they're pausing between the speeches. So I'm going to count them, then how much they how much they're stopping between the speeches, and what are the hindrance in their speeches, and I'm going to tell them upon that how much they have stopped in the speech. Thank you.
Then we have Toastmaster Velaram. Toastmaster Velaram,
Yes, is there. Wait.
please define your role.
Good evening. Hello, Toastmasters. Good evening. I hope you all are fine and doing well. I welcome you all. Today, my role is timer. I will note the time for all the speakers. The time is as per the standard time. The time for the speeches is allotted 5 to 7 minutes. And time for the triple topic is 2 to 3 minutes, and time for the general evaluators are 2 to 3 minutes. For the speeches, 5 to 7 minutes, I will indicate the green color clause 5 minutes, and when it clause the 6 minutes, I will indicate yellow. Actually, I don't. And when clause 7 minutes, similarly for the table topics, 1 minute green color, and 1 minute 30 seconds yellow, or 2 minutes red, and 30 seconds of the grace time for all. General evaluation is same, 2 minutes green, and 2 minutes 30 seconds yellow, and 3 minutes red, and for general evaluator 30 seconds is the grace time.
The word master will be Toastmaster 𝗙𝗲𝗏𝗧. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗲𝗏𝗧.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, DTM Samir. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmasters meeting provides opportunity to learn new words. As the word master of today's meeting, I will add a new word to your vocabulary. Today's word is feisty, F-I-E-S-T-Y, feisty. Meaning of the word is of a person, typically one who is relatively small, lively, determined, and courageous. It's an adjective. You can use in a sentence a love story with a feisty heroine who's more than a pretty face. A love story with a feisty heroine who is more than a pretty face. Please use as many times as possible in your prepared speech or extempore. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
And then we have the word counter, the most important person, because as Joseph Stalin said, is supposed to have said, it's not the people who vote, but the person who counts the votes who matters. So Toastmaster Tala, please go ahead. Toastmaster Tala.
Yes.
Or Deep Tala.
Yeah. Okay. No, a Toastmaster is fine. And no, I don't look like that. Actually, it's a lie. But okay, as vote counter, I will be, in fact, just now it has been decided that our VPPR, 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗎𝗏, will be floating the poll the meeting. The first will be best speaker, the second will be best table topic speaker, the third will be best evaluator, and the fourth will be best big four. So at all occasions, you will be asked to vote for your favorite speaker or role performer. The vote will be floated through a Google Drive on the WhatsApp group. So don't expect a poll on Zoom. Instead, keep monitoring your phones because you'll receive the poll in the club's WhatsApp group and you will be voting. As the vote counter, I cannot vote. Instead, I will only vote if there's a tie. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, 𝗙𝗍𝗏𝗀𝗡𝗚. And now we have somebody with two roles. The first role is that of listener, and then after that, that person is going to tell us a nice joke. For Toastmaster 𝗙𝗍𝗯𝗡𝗚, please give your role as a listener and then make us all laugh. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗍𝗯𝗡𝗚.
I would be making note of all the interesting words and phrases spoken by the speaker during the prepared speeches and the table topic sessions. And at the end of the session, I'll be calling out the interesting words and phrases spoken by the speaker, and the audience will have to guess it. And as for the joke master, okay, what's the best way to burn 1,000 calories? What's the best way to burn 1,000 calories? Leave the pizza in the oven. Okay. What do you call a bear with no teeth? What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Why did the gym close down? Why did the gym close down? Because things couldn't work out. And why did the M&M go to school? Why did the M&M go to school? Because it wanted to be a smarty. And this is for all the accountants in the club. So 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗚𝗛𝗚, you should be listening to it. What's an extroverted accountant? One who looks at shoes while he's talking to you instead of his own. And the last one, what do you call friends who love maths? What do you call friends who love maths? LG bros.
Okay, now we'll start off into the meat of the meeting. The first session, prepared speeches. Our first speaker is Toastmaster 𝗙𝗍𝗯𝗡𝗚. I do not know the title of his speech because I think it's a secret, and she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Asghar. Toastmaster Asghar, please give the objectives in detail.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Sameer. Am I clear from here? Today, TM Shama is presenting a project for pathway persuasive influence. Still 3 studying a resolution, and the title of my speech is "You, Me, and Us." Please, Shama.
Am I audible and visible? Toastmasters. Domestic help, we all have one at our homes, right? But how many of you have 2 to 3 domestic help for performing the same task? Let me tell you about my place. I have a sweeper and a garbage man for doing the same task, that is cleaning outdoors. That was my mom's strategy for when one goes out for a break to their native village, we will still have someone to take the place and not compromise on the cleanliness of the outdoors. So this arrangement was in perfect harmony till the time the two had to retire of their old age, and we had to replace them with 2 new. Now one day, I noticed the heaps of cut out plants and leaves after the gardener had done the maintenance, and there were heaps around. One day passed, second day passed, third day passed, and I said to myself, what's wrong with the cleanliness? My mate came in and said, Baji, this sweeper and the garbage man, they keep putting it to each other. It's not my job, it's not my job. I said, oh, okay, I'll have a word with them in the morning. Then I was lecturing to them. Cleanliness is your responsibility. If you will not do it, who will do it then? And they were like nodding in obedience. Yes, Baji, I will do it. And I was relaxed. Ha, My scolding worked. Wasn't that easy? And then I woke up with two people talking loudly, making noise. I said, what's that? Oh my God, I was dreaming about resolving the conflict. Well, such a swift conflict resolution could only be a dream. So I had to talk to them again. Here I am lecturing to them. Cleanliness is your responsibility. If you will not do it, who will do it then? Neither of them nodded in obedience. Instead, they both had their own point of view. Sweeper was saying, Baji, I clean all the floor. I make heaps of garbage. I'm not supposed to put the garbage in garbage man's bag. And garbage man was saying, oh, Baji, he does it all over. He put the heaps of plants and cut out leaves here, there, and there. I'm not supposed to pick all the things from all around the yard and then collect it. I'm not going to do it. He must put it at one place. And Sweeper like, I make heaps and he should collect it from there. And my head is spinning. With a flash, I realized that I need to know the reason behind this situation. Behind this kind of two angry men having a conflict on the same thing. And I realized within a few moments, I realized that the reason is nothing but opposing attitudes. The moment I identified the reason while these two were still angry at each other, I recollected my conflict resolution skills. Step one of which is take a deep breath and hold your composure. Step two, consider the possible solutions. Step three, empathize with their point of views. Step four, make them understand that it is not personal, it's mutual goal. So I said, listen, hold on. Look, we have to have the cleanliness. That is our mutual goal. Consider your point of view, and your roles between yourselves, because it is not about you, it is not about you, it is about us cleaning the place. After a bit of a silence, I heard Sweeper. Yeah, Baji, I know. Okay, fine. I will then collect all the garbage, all the heaps at one place so that garbage man can collect it easily. After a while, garbage man was saying, no, that's all right. If it's easy for you to put the heaps here and there, I can collect it in my bag. Baji, I will do it, don't you worry. Toastmasters, I experienced that conflict is often inevitable. If it is not resolved timely, it can escalate and worsen the situation. If managed timely, it can be an opportunity of improving the situations as well as the relationship among the people. It does not take a fiasco to resolve the conflict. It just takes some steps and strategies and keeping your cool, realizing others' positions and thinking of solutions. From that day onward, whenever I happen to pass by the sweeper or the garbage man, they always tell me, Baji, I still remember you told us it is not about you, it is not about me, it is about us. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shimon. Now we were supposed to have our next speaker, Toastmaster Saad, but he says that he would like to go a little bit later. So I will request Toastmaster 𝗙𝗙𝗃𝗧𝗏 to please give his speech. His speech title is Password. I repeat, his speech title is Password, and he'll be evaluated by a PQD, the the mighty PQD, Talaban Hamid, DTM Talaban Hamid. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Mohammed Farooq will be delivering his project Connect with Storytelling, and it's level 3 of your pathway, right? Your pathway is visionary communication. I don't remember, I only made the agenda. Anyhow, so the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Toastmaster Mohammed Farooq, I am sure that there's hardly anyone who doesn't know him. He is not only an excellent speaker, he's also the VPE of 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗹𝗹𝗀𝗚 Toastmasters Club. He's the club mentor of Karachi Toastmasters Club. And most importantly, he is our district public speaking champion. So obviously he will not disappoint. No pressure at all. Toastmaster Mohammed Farooq, over to you.
Just checking if I am visible and audible.
Right.
Yeah, difficult eye contact here. I had a dream to make a world record. So after I completed my graduation examination, I took my blow and blanket and jumped into my bed to make the longest sleep in the world. But my father came in between and he woke me up and said, go and get some job. So I started applying here and there. In my bad luck, I got a job. Toastmasters, my Zoom audience and guest. This was a very old organization in a very old building that was built in 1860. And after that, no renovation, no maintenance, no refurbishment. So it was like a haunted house. Only one department was according to the requirement of modern day office, and that was IT department. Glass doors, ACs, equipments, furniture, and people. Amazing people. They had solution to every problem of the world. Restart. So I got a desktop to start my work, and to configure that desktop, a lady came from IT department. She was like a fresh breeze in that male-only, dull, lazy 1860 environment. Suddenly the environment changed. Lazy people become energetic. Angry people start smiling, and smiling people start laughing. Some people hold their breath so their 12 packs look like 6. She was sitting so close to me that a small blow of air could move her hair to my face. I was thinking I'm in 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗧𝗏's Chopra's movie set. But she said, take your password. I don't know why, I don't know how. I took her name as my first password. I still feel the sensation in my fingers. After that day, every day when I used to log in, I use that fresh breeze and that sensation in my fingers when I used to type the password. One day I opened my laptop, opened my desktop, and it did not open. I called IT. They gave me their one-word solution, restart, that did not work. So the guy came and he took my computer and went. Without computer, I was idle. So I involved myself into another important task of our department, that was gossip. So I was continue gossiping with my friends, and I got a call from IT department. We need your password. How can I give that password? I could not think, and I just disappeared from office. 1 hour I was roaming here and there, thinking how to deal with this situation. I was a probation period trainee, and if the password is revealed, my job is gone. And how could I tell my father that I lost job because of this reason? So I started thinking here and there, but I could not find a solution. So I again moved back to office. Office was quiet. Seems nobody noticed my disappearance. So I strictly moved into IT department. Department was cool and calm as usual. From the glass door, I see she was sitting alone. I thought, God is with me. So I can go apologize and tell her her name as password and come back. When I went, she looked at me, smiled, and said, your computer is ready, your computer is fixed, you can take it. So I thought, oh, I'm relaxed. Without really revealing my password, I got my computer fixed. So I said, thank you. And now my confidence back. So I said, use this opportunity. So I said, yeah, I got a call that you were looking for my password. Is it required now? And she smiled at me. She said, I know your password. I start shivering. I was a teenage, first experience, and I was caught red-handed. She said, don't worry. Your password is no different than the passwords of many people in this organization. Take your computer and change your password. Because the name of a working lady can only be a password. You keep it hide and you frequently change it. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, working woman is not for fun. That day I realized. With that cool IT environment, I was embarrassed and full of sweating. The words of that lady was make me embarrassed that the working woman is not for fun. They need and they deserve equal dignity, equal respect, equal safety, even more than a man. They are 50% of us. We cannot prosper if we cannot give the respect, dignity, care, and safety to our 50%. Thank you very much.
Okay, now our next speaker will be Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, and his project is Understanding Vocal Variety. Toastmaster Naveed, Understanding Vocal Variety, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster 𝗙𝗲𝗯𝗧. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗲, please read his objectives.
Okay, PM Naveed is doing presentation mastery level 3, understanding vocal variety. The duration of a speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and there's just one objective for the speech. A purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety to enhance a speech. Ladies and gentlemen, team members.
You can remove the mask. Lots of this.
I didn't realize that giving a speech in person is quite difficult.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's easier. It's easier.
I almost forget what I had to deliver. Buzzing drones, robotic arm frantically pulling things from the conveyor belt, auto painting and welding of cars, arm helping surgeons in the operation theater, and auto checkout and auto check-in at the airport. All this is done with complete efficiency, without rest, and not asking for any leaves, holidays, and top of it, without asking for retirement benefits. Isn't this scary? Slightly. Fellow Toastmasters, in recent years, there has been concern raised by so many people the impact of these technologies, which is artificial intelligence, machine learning, or other robotics, on the impact of our jobs. Everyone, no matter what industry we work for, will or is already being impacted by these new technologies. Some people are worried to the point that they are putting the suggestions that these robots will make us out of the job. And this is not very untrue. They are already making impact on different industries. They will certainly eat a fixed percentage of our jobs, which are especially monotonous, dull, and repetitive nature. But what is the solution? Should we get ourselves scared, or we should try to understand what these technologies are? To me, the solution lies in better understanding, critically analyzing the impact that these technologies are making on every one of us, on the industries that we are in. That's the major understanding that we all have to develop. Jobs are made of myriad of tasks. It is not always easy to automate end to end. Having said that, I'd just like to quote an example. In 1950, US Census Bureau has done a listing of 250 jobs. And since 1950 till now, with all the advancements that science has made, there is only one job which is completely eliminated, and that is elevator operator. So I don't want to downplay the impact of these technologies. We just want to be rational. Instead of getting scared and talking high, we need to understand critically what they are and make ourselves align, make ourselves more understanding towards these technologies. Take an example of the accounting profession. Accounting profession is automated in last 20-25 years. Where are those accountants gone? Where are those reconciliation boys? No one knows. But nowadays, accounting is more of a business partner. CFOs are more into strategy and more into analysis rather than number crunching. Let me give you another example of a job which is subject to or probably get automated. Let's take an example of a job for a gardener who mow the garden, water it. Not only this, but the gardener's job is to rake the leaves. Gardener's job is to eradicate the pest. Mowing and watering is something which is easier. The other tasks require quite a lot of artificial intelligence to be built into that job. And that's why the complete end-to-end job might not be feasible to automate. Let me give you an example of my father. My father is a calligrapher. He lost his job when computer came in. He was at his retiring age. He didn't took that pain to learn the computer. So he was out of the job. What happened? A low-paid typist who can type Urdu taken over the job. But then there is another job which got created of a person who need to arrange the words, because computer can't do those lining which a calligrapher can do with his hand. On the other side, my elder brother is also a calligrapher, but he's a calligrapher who can make fonts, who can design. And because the artificial intelligence hasn't yet reached to that level of human intelligence, and he's more valuable. He's valuable than what he used to be. multiplied by 5 or 10 times. Let's see what industries are getting impacted. Most of one are in manufacturing. Car industry is the one who is impressing all these things. But even in that industry, the workers are actually directing the robotic arms and other robots that we have. If I list down healthcare, agriculture, and for our female Toastmasters, there are robots who can cook food in the kitchen, thousands of recipes that they have, but you have to do a lot of stuff before they start doing all these things. So invention cannot outsmart inventor. Except in movies, we have seen that there are a lot of hue and cry because some robot got away. But we need to, what is our responsibility? We need to understand, we need to really see the impact of these technologies on us. As Elon Musk says, excessive automation in Tesla was my mistake. I've underrated humans. Thank you very much.
Now, our next speaker is going to be Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗏. His topic is Understanding Your Communication Style, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Mohammed Farooq. Mohammed Farooq, please give his objectives.
Today is my test because I have to evaluate Latif in front of his wife. Latif is a member of 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏 since June 2020. He's living in Kuwait for last 16 years, and he is a travel agent by profession, a passionate learner of 3D animations, and a Toastmaster 24/7. Today he's presenting his project, Understanding His Communication Style. His pathway is Presentation Mastery Level 2. The purpose is to learn about different communication styles and identify what is his primary style, and also share the impact of his primary style on others. So without wasting time, let me call Toastmaster Latif. Latif means gentle. Latif means gentle. Toastmaster Latif.
Thank you, TM Farooq, Toastmaster of the Day. Whenever I have satisfied a customer, eventually, in the end, he has asked me a question. Do you know what Latif means? And I used to say, yes, it means kind. But then he used to elaborate more and say it means gentle. I was taking it so easily that I never thought that I am really a gentle person. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I was asked to go with an analysis of questions to know my communication style. In the end, what I was expecting that I will be an analytical speaker or communicator. It ended up 0. Because when I answered the question, it was like you have to be precise, more to the exact content and logical. Means whenever I talk, it is less logical. Move on, I got 3 on direct. So I understood, yes, I am not a direct intent person who will be an independent and for sure confident that I can compete with my decision and I stay whatever I communicate to others. Then comes 2 more subjects, initiating and supportive. If you add up those marks, I had a lot of numbers. Initiating, I was 4. Supportive, I was 5. Initiating, the style is more of social, like, you have to be gathered in the community, you have to gather with the people, gather all the ideas. More energetic means which goes with the flow of the idea of people, and fun-loving. Why not? Supportive. When it comes to supportive, it gives me an idea of that you have to be calm, steady, approachable, sincere. But then it came to me, and gentle. It recalled me each and every services I have given in past, and people have elaborated my meaning saying, Latif, you are gentle. I used to have good bashing from my family when I used to wake up at 3 a.m. to assist their call. Was it gentle? I have no idea. Was it my job prescription? I have no idea. But yes, it helped me to grow and prosper. In initial days, when I was teen at my shop in Pakistan, Karachi, whenever a lady used to come, a young lady, her smile, I used to assume her in red dress, as if she is the bride of me, for me. But I never was so direct, no analytical, so I had never given up more chances to my prosperity, what comes for my relation with her. But in the end, she says, you are very gentle. I didn't know that meaning of her gentle was different than the customers until when I was analyzing myself of what kind of communicator I am. Nevertheless, once my company had a problem with my customer. We used to deal with third party. I was asked to write a letter that we will not be writing and dealing with them again. So that was my final letter to them. I wrote a letter initiating whatever my manager gave me the points. As soon as I went to her room, she said, Latif, why this is so gentle? I was like, why it is so gentle? I have no idea. Can you bring out the points which I asked you to bring? Make it. Yes, I brought it. Yes, please. These are the points. See, I have mentioned we will not be dealing with this company again. Ma'am, I have also written the same thing. Yes, but you have said, if it happens next time, you will not deal again. Ma'am, everybody needs chance. Corporate does not go with gentle people. You have to be strong. You have to be direct. You have to be analytical. Oh, come on, it's been 16 years. I haven't been approached like that. But then, today I realize that this calm exposure of me, this calm dominion of me is really a strong feist in me, because I make sure that my relations go smooth. The troublesome time when we think and when we look at things, how we can handle, the best way is to be sincere with the problem, be approachable so that everybody can meet you, and gentle. This is the only thing which will help. And no matter what Latif means, I feel I am blessed being so gentle, so calm, so sincere, that I can be able to help anyone, anytime, 24/7. Friends, this is the attitude which I feel everyone should be. Because when you communicate supportively, I think you will somehow manage to negotiate at your deal, at your purpose, at your way of results you require. Thank you, and over to you, Contest Toastmaster of the day.
Not quite contest here, but
I'm still in there.
Still in the contest mode. Excellent. Okay, now our next speaker is none other than DTM 𝗙𝗪𝗏. His speech title is No Son of Mine. His evaluator is Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗏𝗧. No son of mine. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗏𝗧, can you please give his objectives?
DTM 𝗙𝗪𝗏 is presenting his speech from the Motivational Strategies Pathway. The title is Connect with Storytelling. The purpose is for a member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. The title's story is No Son of Mine, and the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome 𝗙𝗘𝗃𝗚𝗧.
Well, the key to my survival was never much in doubt. The question was how I could keep sane, trying to find my way out. At first it didn't bother me, till it started happening all the time. Soon I was living in fear every day of what would happen that night. This was a song by Genesis. It was all the rage in 1992. And I was dying to get my hands on the cassette of that album. The album was called We Can't Dance. The only problem was the album cost a whopping 70 rupees. And I was there with my father because he was the one who drove me and he was the one who used to have the money. Otherwise, I would have gone there alone. As I was staring at that jewel case of the cassette, the blank sleeve that just said Genesis, We Can't Dance, I wanted to shrink and disappear into the floor because my father was negotiating with the shopkeeper. Can we get a discount on this? And I wanted to tell him there are no discounts on these charts. Please don't ask for it. Nevertheless, I had the album in my hand and I would dare not put it in our car stereo. It was a 74 Toyota Corolla and the stereo was an eater of cassettes. Instead, I waited to get home and then I put the cassette in my home stereo. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that time was a time of tussle between me and my father. My father grew up in a poor family, and throughout his life, he was never comfortable spending money. He did not understand the need for entertainment. Large purchases confused him. Every month, we used to go out in Quetta markets. We used to buy groceries. We used to buy clothes for myself, my sister, and my mother. And we used to buy some utensils and some other supplies. And then came the sticking point, because I had a whole list with me of the books and magazines and albums that I wanted. And predictably, my father was averse to these purchases. I asked for 5 things and I used to get 2. But then the situation reached an impasse and my father changed his strategy. He announced a grand monthly allowance of 100 rupees for me. And the deal was that I couldn't demand anything else. I was over the moon. And do you know what I bought with those 100 rupees the first time? A ton of candies. 4 per rupee back then. And just 10 rupees landed me with 40 candies. I had never felt greater freedom in my life. The years progressed. I moved to Karachi in 1995 and my monthly allowance ballooned from rupees 100 to a whole rupees 1,000. As I progressed through my chartered accountancy, that allowance plus the stipend from my audit firm were what I was supposed to spend throughout a month. My father was away, Otherwise, he would have been depressed to see that I managed to save not a single penny from that grand sum of 1,500 rupees. I qualified in 2002, got a job the same year, and then my parents migrated from Quetta to live with me. As I started earning a salary, I grew more financially independent by the day. Scratch that. Not financially independent, financially careless. I never saved anything. I spent all my money in gadgets, in albums, in games, you name it, magazines, books. And then when I had a family of my own, outings with my kids, dinners, toys. And meanwhile, my father had retired, but we had his pension to thank for our monthly groceries. He fended for me throughout his life. And even today, after his death, he's fending for me. Because even today, our monthly groceries are derived from the pension that comes in his name. They say time is a healer, but my wounds had long since changed. I knocked the doorbell with my heart in my mouth, had to hear what he had to say. He sat me down right next to me, looked me straight in the eyes and said, you're no son of mine. You walked out, you left us behind. You're no son of mine. And that was true. I all but ignored him in the last years of his life. Meanwhile, listening to this very song on the couch bought by his money, munching on the snacks that were bought through his pension, all the while not caring about him till he passed away. And even today, when I hear this song, I imagine my father saying these words to me. But all I can ever say to him is, I will perhaps amount to no one in this life. But one thing that you can take away from me is that I am your son, now and forever. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗏. Our next, sorry. Okay, now our next speaker is Toastmaster Mohammed Asghar. His topic is my blogging experience, and he'll be evaluated by Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗦𝗛𝗆. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗦𝗛𝗆, please give the objectives. Please unmute him.
Wait. Yeah.
All right. Toastmaster Asghar is delivering his project from Pathways Innovative Planning Level 4, writing a compelling blog. The title of his speech is My Blogging Experience. The speech duration will be 2 to 3 minutes. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of his experience maintaining a blog. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Asghar.
Once I asked my otherwise feisty mother-in-law, how are you? She disapprovingly replied, Asghar, don't you read my blog regularly? Dear Toastmasters, let me shed the euphemism and be blunt and direct. She has been torturing me through personal messages to read her nonsense blogs. With a stunned imagination and a stifled creative instinct, she just shares pictures related to fashion borrowed from other websites and expects me to read them and commits them religiously. One can only hope that better sense prevails before it's too late for her. But that is when I came to know about blog and blogging. When I encountered this subject in my pathway, I decided to dig deeper and find out whether I can be a blogger or whether I could write to torment my tormentor. What I didn't know then and do know now, that as a government servant, I can write only on certain subjects. There is therefore a little incentive for me to maintain an updated blog. But even at that level, I felt the impact of blogging in a very big way. I have experienced useful skills and building them further. I have found a network of friends in my own area to write about the local subjects with the help of government department and NGOs. I'm also spreading awareness regarding various topics mutually agreed by my own small groups. Above all, I am experiencing or this helping me as a great communicator and leader, which is the ultimate goal of this club and one of the objectives of this pathway. Yes, there are bloggers bigger than me. Professional bloggers are earning millions every week. But I take solace in the fact that I am better, at least to those bloggers or those nonsense bloggers who tortures their innocent son-in-laws. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗃𝗧𝗏, the everlasting suffering son-in-law. Now I will request our next Toastmaster from Madagascar, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗚. He'll be giving a special occasion speech. I do not have a speech title. He can tell the timing, or rather the evaluator will. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗚 will evaluate him. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗚, please give his objectives.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗚 will be giving a project from level 3, Pathway Visionary Communication. The title of the speech is Tribute to a Legend. Time will be 3 to 4 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗚.
Thank you, GM Ghulam Qadir. You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I need to pin you, or rather pin your picture. Yeah, there you are. Yeah.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Today we are gathered here to remember a legend which we told so many, and we are here to say goodbye to him. I am talking about Mr. Moin Akhtar. Mr. Moin Akhtar, when we hear about him, we felt a smile on our face. And why? Because for over 40 years of his career with Pakistan television and Pakistan entertainment industry, we all Pakistanis remember him for his legendary comedy, his legendary style, and his persona. Whenever I hear him, whenever I think about him, I feel smiling. And why? Because of his characters. What character you remember when we Mr. Moin Akhtar? Do you remember the character of Rosie? Did you remember the character of Loose Talks, like a Pathan, or like a Bengali, or like any character, the famous writer, any writer tell him, but Anwar Maqsood is the one person worked with Mr. Moin Akhtar a lot and given to Mr. Moin Akhtar, he always performed with perfection. And these are the words of Mr. legendary Anwar Maqsood. Then Moin Akhtar was subcontinent's biggest actor compared to everyone, even Indian actors. So one of the greatest entertainer of the modern history of Mr. Moin Akhtar left us in 2000. We still remember his skits, what he did with his life. There are so many aspects we can cover about him in this particular speech, but in the limited time, what I can talk about him is that when I seen his first performance in front of Mr. legendary 𝗙𝗎𝗪𝗓𝗏, I seen men. And when he spoke in front of 𝗙𝗎𝗪𝗓𝗏's show in 70s, like anything. Looking at one of his interviews in 1990 with Mr. Naeem Bukhari, he asked him how much energy, how you have so much comedy comes out from your mouth. He said, I'm very sincere about it. What is given to me. And my observations are always natural people. I just take their character and then just convert them into a performance. And how beautiful is a performer. One of the suits said about Moin Akhtar is that, Moin Akhtar is a very serious person. It's not a comedy itself. It's the seriousness of this guy. He's inside a very serious person. And today at his eulogy, I just want to remember his last interview in 2012, what he talked in serious nature. Moin Akhtar talked about an incident in Karachi, make it really disappointed him in his life. In Karachi, at that the situation of terror and security situation was really bad. And people are killing for one little mobile. 300 rupees, 400 mobile, 500 rupees a mobile. If somebody will not give you, the security
अब ये
so
कर रही है,
bad.
इनको पैसे चाहिए.
कौन है ये रोटरी के? कौन है?
Sorry.
कौन है? नौशेरे वाली नहीं है.
अच्छा.
वही और कौन था दूसरा?
छोड़े?
नहीं, वो अक्सर मांगती रहती हैं. सोच रही हूँ 5,000.
So when I remember that interview, I said how much seriousness the guy had. He was so depressed on the situation. He said that Allah created us. We have so many memories. We live our life, and for mobile, other guy kills each other. Is this the humanity we are living in? And I think that was the only disappointment I seen in his whole career. I followed him from the childhood, all his programs.
हाँ, असल में मैं 3 दिन से दफ्तर भी नहीं जा रही हूँ, तो बस कुछ दिन जरा मसरूफ थी, तो मैं ना आपको ना 5,000 रुपये भिजवा दूंगी. ठीक है? ठीक है, आपके फोन पे भिजवा दूं? .
You can continue, Toastmaster.
हाँ कॉल नंबर कर देना और ठीक है फायजा ठीक है
बिल्कुल when you talk about Moin Akhtar, it has to be some comedy.
Allow audience ये off करें ऊपर वाला ये off करें इसको
Okay. Okay. I believe you can continue. Yeah.
Okay. So the last interview talked about this disappointment in his life. But I can see from his life that he was very successful, very famous in Pakistan all over the world. But he was a true Pakistani. He never thought about leaving his country. He contributed to this country all his he lived a very humble life. If you know his house and the way he was living in a very humble way. Today is the day I want to offer my tribute to Mr. Moin Akhtar on his fantastic work. Pakistan government gave him a prize of performance and the biggest honor Pakistan can provide him. But this is the legend which our young generation, I wish my son can follow him and we can follow this kind of legend's great character and bring them to our life. Today, this speech is to Mr. Moin Akhtar. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
What was the total time? I think we can give him, yeah.
So I thought that it was a 3 to 4. I didn't see the timer. I'm really sorry. This whole situation was. TM Samir, I think you are muted.
Yeah. Apologies for that. He can't mute the mic.
Okay.
I think I'll zoom master.
Too many masters.
No.
I feel that here.
Okay, now I think I'm good. I think I'm good now. Thank you. Zoom master, thank you. I'm fine. Okay, our next speaker will be none other than Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗹𝗧𝗏. His speech title is Know Your Sense of Humor, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Azhar Khan. Know Your Sense of Humor. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏, please give his objectives, evaluator.
Assalamu Toastmasters. Today, TM Saad is topic is Know Your Sense of Humor. Its duration time is 5 to 7 minutes. And now, stage is yours.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. Day without comedy is a day wasted. By Mr. 𝗙𝗘𝗃𝗧𝗏, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Laughter, humor is very important in each and every person's life. That makes our day that excites us, that actually makes you you want to live the life day after day. My life is actually full of these experiences, but those were just the one way experiences. Why? But because you can expect from the world. So back then I was like, why is it like that? But after a while things got okay. Because I was like okay, do that. And so the first actual experience, I was about 4. It was October. It was October. A very historic day. The third martial law in our country, and I was off. I was off out of the house because my parents were outside, and they said don't come out. But me not obeying them, I just went to them, and I got lost. A shopkeeper who knew my parents and parent was actually my life life protected there. Number 2, which just happened right now, while I was on the way. I was to buy these two speakers, Mr. VP, Miss President, President told me to, and you don't say no to no to no to these two. Highly unadvised. So I just went 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 there and the task that was to take 10 5 to 10 10 5 to 10 5 to 10 minutes took me 1 hour. Why? Too much rush, and every speaker I chose was not was not was not okay. Okay, some was some I did not have aux. Some audio was low things. I think like that. That's why I was late today. so so the a guy was like, sir, wait, sir, wait. And I was like, why you I don't know our ex-con. So and so things so things so things at so things happen. Sometimes people laugh 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 with you. That's a nice experience. But at times people can laugh at you. That's also a thing. I think to be like okay, that guy is stupid. Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, technical host. Now, I would like to ask the timer, has everyone qualified? Or are there any disqualifications? Timer? Can the timer please give his report? Has everyone qualified or are there any disqualifications?
Yeah, he's just coming here and he'll give his report. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, all are qualified, but just Mr. Saad took only 20 seconds more, and all speakers are qualified.
Okay. So I happen to be the presiding officer, and his speech contained a tribute to me. So, but still, 20 seconds is too long. And in my right conscience, I cannot. If it were 5 to 10 seconds, we would have. So, unfortunately, Saad, so don't include your name in the poll.
I will now request the vote counter to please float the poll on WhatsApp. Now we'll go to our next session in which we'll have table topics, and I would request the table topic master Toastmaster Master to please come forward.
Yeah, 𝗙𝗎𝗋𝗧, just a second. We'll take a 5-minute break here, and we'll use that break to grab the tea, which you guys don't have. And in the meantime, Table Topics Master will finalize the list of Table Topic speakers, and perhaps we'll cut a cake or two. And in the meantime, everyone who is at home, you don't get the cake, you don't get the tea, use this duration to cast your votes. So, everyone, yeah.
We don't have the access to Karachi.
Okay. It's on the Zoom chat as well. Yeah. Okay. So everyone, our member Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗏𝗀𝗀 has brought something special to celebrate today's celebrations. He's also one of the Pathways completers and also a very active contestant in contests. In fact, he's contesting not only from Karachi Toastmasters Club, but also 𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧 Toastmasters Club. So Toastmaster 𝗙𝗙𝗏𝗀𝗀, if you can bring the special thing in front of the camera, because it will be a total waste if you guys don't see it and don't drool over it. Yes. And everyone else, please go out and grab tea or whatever. Yeah, there's no whatever, there's just tea. Yeah.
So we have some whatever.
Yeah.
मैंने कल शुगर का टेस्ट करवाया था नेगेटिव था.
Wow. You need more sugar in your life. So, okay. You're covering it? Okay. No, let me cover it. No, let me cover it.
I am doing it.
KTC number 1. Oh, thank you.
In the word. Yeah, okay. Are you broadcasting it? No. Okay, let me broadcast it. Okay.
मतलब लोगों को जानबूझ के जलाना है.
Of course. What's the point in all this? So everybody, stand by for cake. And yeah, this is a cake that you guys cannot have. You can only see it. And yeah, there it is. And I'm turning on my video. And I'm turning off the camera. Wait. Since I have nefarious purposes, the mask has decided to rebel on me.
She's covering it already.
Yeah.
No, that's that is
Just a second.
That's a different thing.
That's Facebook. So
Okay.
since we
Yeah.
are number 1,
Everyone,
we will.
this is the cake.
Spread the word.
We are about to cut.
We are actually number 1 in the world.
And
How
𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗧
awesome
as
is
the
that?
contest winner of International Speech Contest.
How amazing is that? So
Ali Faruqi as the district speaking champion, I think, and as and GQ as the bringer of this stage. Please cut the stage. To the lobby, and we are waiting for a knife here. We have approached the general manager for the knife, and here you can see people representing 3 or 4 clubs in Division B, club coaches and mentors, and of course champions. So yeah, this is the hub of activity in Division B right now. Okay, everyone come forward. Our guests should also come forward, please. You cut it. Yeah, you are a member. Come on. I'm covering it. I'm not the president. Okay. Come on. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Everybody should be in the picture. And we are cutting the cake. So yeah, so this is all you have of the cake. I will give you a very nice close-up as well. Asghar, please raise the slice so that they can see the layers. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, everyone. So we will just benefit from the cake right now. And that won't be a pretty sight. So I'm turning off this video. And just give us 5 minutes. Okay, everyone, we are about to resume, and our next segment will be table topic session. And the table topic session is a session of extempore speeches where the table topics master asks various people to come on the stage or on the virtual stage and speak for 1 to 2.5 minutes. So
may I come here?
Yeah, yeah.
My mobile service is low, so I cannot show.
Yeah. So everyone, please welcome our table topics master for today, Toastmaster Majid Akhtar. And Toastmaster Majid, while you introduce, I can give you the list. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the meeting of Toastmasters. I hope all of you are enjoying the best of your life, the best of your time. Why do we need Toastmasters? You have witnessed the first part of it. Now, extempore speaking on your feet, thinking on your feet is another segment, another energetic and another challenging segment of Toastmasters, which you're just going to see, which you are just going to witness. What exactly do you learn in Toastmasters is thinking right away. There can be circumstances in your life when you are called upon to deliver a speech on certain topic, and most of the times if you are not having practice done, then we go blank. So the beauty of Toastmasters is that Toastmasters here work like a friend, because a friend in need is the friend indeed. So the Toastmaster is going to let you not go blank when you have this sudden moment where you have to deliver the speech. So we try to keep an environment, we try to sort of pick a topic or pick a sort of a topic around which the whole segment goes around. So the today's main theme is going to be celebrations. So since so far we have been enjoying, we just had a lovely cake. People who are not here right now, I'm sure they must be feeling deprived. So if you do not want to feel deprived, next time you should be here so that you could have the real feel that how exactly it feels like to be in the in-person meetings. So celebrations is the first topic, and first speaker is going to be DTM Maria. So DTM Maria, are you around? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
All right.
Yeah. So your topic is the best celebration function you ever took part in. The best celebration function you ever took part in, and the word of the day is feast. Feasty, yeah, feasty. There you go. So, Didier Maria, big round of applause.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, table topic master, and honorable guest. I remember when I was young and I used to join Toastmasters with my father. So we have a couple of different kind of events and different kind of seminars being organized. So one of the seminars which was conducted at Awari Towers, and it was related to Toastmasters, and it was nonetheless a festivity in itself, because I remember a lot of senior Toastmasters had participated, which are nowhere to be found yet, and profound memories are still inculcated in my mind, because Toastmaster was just a newborn baby at that time. With the passage of time, my father and a lot of members had nurtured and nourished it, out of which a beautiful tree has grown. But certainly with the passage of time, it has progressed and developed with the contribution of various members who are either existing members or those who have left. But certainly a milestone has been achieved. So 𝗙𝗦𝗧 was indeed, you can say, the hub of the Toastmasters in those days, where not only delicious refreshments were served, but the hospitality of the servers, and moreover the founder of the 𝗙𝗦𝗧, 𝗣𝗹𝗰𝗲𝗀, was also present in certain events which was related to Toastmasters. So you can say that I have witnessed the growth of Toastmasters, especially Karachi Toastmasters, with the passage of time, and it has indeed bloomed and groomed into a beautiful flower, and I hope it will continue to flourish in the near future. Over to the table topic master.
We actually enjoy how exactly Toastmaster thing actually got started and how exactly things were taking place at that time. You played the video in our imagination. That was very, very nice. So the next topic is going to be for TM Mariam Aftab. So do we have TM Mariam Aftab around? So can we have hello from TM Mariam Aftab?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So your topic is, if we celebrate our endurance during tough times, good times definitely will turn up. If we celebrate our endurance during tough time, good times definitely will turn up. Is it easy or is it difficult? Now that's your...
That I'll decide after 2 minutes.
Yeah, all right.
So my time starts now. Dear fellow Toastmasters, I'm just trying to figure out the days that were very hard for me. There are certain times, there are certain days, there were certain occasions where I felt, depressed. Maybe sometimes I thought I could not handle that. The one incident that I would like to share with you right now is when my daughter was born. It was not difficult. It was a celebration for me. But the time after that was quite difficult. Not only in that way that I was a new mom, something that a new that handed to me, delicate, precious, definitely. But it was also because I had to start my work. I had to join my office. That was the time where I felt how I'm going to manage these things. Well, I must say, I turned that situation that was quite hard for me into a courageous or the feisty one. I was the one who was really afraid by picking her up, and now she's 4 years old. I have built that day on. She is my daughter, my life. I managed her sleeping time. I managed how I'm going to give her feeder and all those stuff. Well, I have to manage my sleeping time and her sleeping time as I have to wake up early. When I'll be in office, who is going to take care of her? How she's going to manage herself? Well, trust me, she is a feisty lady, guys. She is the one who is giving me the hardest of time till now. But I am celebrating it because I have make her realize what it feels to be an independent girl, how to carry yourself and how to take care of yourself when no one is around. Thank you so much. That was the incidents that I would like to indicate. A celebration. Thank you.
An excellent talk. Thank you so much, TM Mariam Aftab, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. We actually enjoyed your speech. So we have TM Taha here. TM Taha, are you ready? Big round of applause for TM Taha. So your topic Your topic is that you might find me silent. However, I'm celebrating in my imagination. You might find me silent, but I am celebrating in my imagination.
Thank you. So it's a tough ask for me.
Okay. Go ahead. Give it a chance.
Okay. So you people might find me silent, but every little boy is in his imagination, thinking about something. So today I'm going to share my experience of my first day in the Toastmasters Club physically. So it is that I'm quiet over here and I'm in my imagination, learning a lot from the speakers and from our president as well. Oh, sorry, what did you VPE? I'm really sorry. From our VPE, acting president, and his speech was really marvelous. So all in all, this is all from me. That sit around quietly and learn from looking, from listening, and from the experiences everybody's sharing. And my time still left.
Yeah,
How much?
definitely.
Okay. How much? But still, I don't know. Just thank you.
So we just witnessed that he, in fact, more enjoys celebrating in the imagination. We just had a small commercial of it, an ad of it. All right. So as today there was a marathon of prepared speeches, so we have the last speaker today, TM Naveed Aslam. So big round of applause for TM Naveed Aslam. And while you are coming over, I'm giving you the topic. It's going to be a little easier. 50th anniversary of marriage is the best celebration of life. 50th anniversary of marriage is the best celebration. I'll keep it humorous. Sometimes I think starting a married life with 5, 10, 15 years, every passing year has a different experience. So I can imagine what it will look like or feel like if ever I reach to that level, which is the 50th anniversary. I'll be a very changed personality. Probably I will not speak, and I will only hear. I will be more saying yes, boss, rather than the time that I have some time in office wherein I can say something. I will probably not say that. But keeping that humor aside, living with someone for 50 years is an experience that probably you both are so close to each other that you can't live without each other. And if other one is gone, you are gone, no matter after a year or so or a month or so. And my experience, all the couples who have lived that long, when unfortunately one passed away, the other one doesn't take much time to go after. Thank you very much. All right, bravo, excellent. So with this, we have reached to the end of this segment of table topics. I would like everybody to please vote for the best speakers, and I hand over the charge back to the Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Yeah, just like I am the act. Okay, please. Was it silent the whole time?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so I forgot. Yeah, so I'm the acting Toastmaster of the day, just like I'm the acting president. And I have an even more potentially exciting announcement. And that will be doubly exciting for anyone who's sitting physically. We have been told by the hotel management that we have the whole night to ourselves, but not in this room. So we have to vacate this room positively before 9:30. So what will happen is that we will start the evaluation session, and the evaluations will take place. And immediately after that, we will move on to the parking lot, have all our phones with us, and deliver the remaining segments, remaining reports. I don't know how that will work, but somehow we will make it work. So with that, without further ado, let me hand over the charge to our wonderful journal evaluator, who is doing not only evaluation, but a ton of other things today. I am truly indebted to him. Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗧, please welcome him.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today is a great day for all of us because after so many new days, we are feeling something. We are celebrating something. And what is feeling? And what is the sense of celebration? We are on the top of the table in the whole globe. And we are here to celebrate these things. Why celebration is important? So I want you all to follow me. Just do this thing first and just rub thumb with your index finger. You are feeling something?
Yes.
This is a moment that we are enjoying. This is a moment of celebration that we all are here together to celebrate our, what can I say? So without further ado, I would like to call the first evaluator. That is none other than a seasoned Toastmaster, Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar, and he is going to evaluate Toastmaster Shamam Khan. Over to you.
Thank you, Journal Evaluator. TM Shamam Khan was speaking from resolving conflict. In pursuance of the objective of the speech, TM Shamam Khan talked about conflicting resolution, and she very beautifully construct a situation where the parties were in conflicting regarding their respective responsibilities. And then she brought a mechanism of the conflict resolution. She explained to all of us step by step the mechanism, and then she applied this mechanism to that particular situation in order to resolve the issue. And she successfully diagnosed it as opposing attitude and went on to resolve it. And that was what she was supposed to do, and did it rather well. Suggestions for improvement would be, TM Shamam, it seems to me that you are in hurry while delivering the dialogue or taking the position of the various parties. Although you moved yourself from one place to another place in order to put yourself in that particular role, and you change your voice according to the role, that would have been more effective, I think. Secondly, the speech was gender biased. You know, the fight of domestic servants resolved mainly by women. And the situation being somewhere in a 𝗙𝗎𝗪𝗪 between two drivers, we would have taken benefit of the situation and would have applied it somewhere, or would apply it somewhere. But anyway, it was a good speech. as usual, and we are interested to see you again with your next speech in this very forum. Good luck to you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar, for your great evaluation. Now let's proceed. And here we have a very good combination. The evaluator is distinguished Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗹𝗪𝗀𝗧, and he's going to evaluate a great Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Farooq. Over to you.
Almost. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Mohammad Farooq. Password. A very curious tale, a very witty tale, and a very thought-provoking tale. The project asked you to connect with storytelling, and I believe you connected with each and every one. And yes, during most part of the speech, it sounded like the usual semi-flirtatious, semi-self-glorifying tale that most of our Urdu writers are so fond of writing when they write travelogues when they visit countries outside of Pakistan. But in the end, it took on a whole new meaning, and I congratulate you. Started with humor, you had a very confident start, your stance was amazing, your smile was heart-capturing. I don't know why, I don't know how, it was poetic in its delivery. Suspense and build-up were amazing, and of course, the story itself was amazing. I felt that during the latter part of the speech, you lost a little bit of steam. I don't know why, I don't know how. You actually started speaking in a very business-like manner, and that hurt the story a little bit. At least that's what I observed, that during the latter part of your speech, you could have emoted even more. You could have magnified your emotions even more, and that was the most emotional meat of the story. But instead, you adopted a very business-like tone. Perhaps you were intimidated by the themes that you were carrying. So nothing wrong with that, but perhaps that story lost a touch of its inspirational value due to your delivery of the latter half and the conclusion. You clasped your hands a little bit during the latter part, and your lack of movement was also very apparent. But I think that is also because, ironically, this is now a new medium for all of us. So I won't mark you down for that. We all are suffering from that. To challenge yourself, you need to own your words. You need to be as emotional as your words are. And that's what I've observed about many of your speeches. And I know there's a thing called understatement. There's a thing called deadpanning. You don't need to scream and shout. You don't need to do gymnastics with every word that you speak. And that's not your inherent style as well. But sometimes in order to sell a certain kind of content, you have to come out of your comfort zone and emote a little more. So during the last part of the speech and the conclusion, you should have become a stage actor acting out all the emotions, and that would have nailed the message. But other than that, amazing story, amazingly delivered. And though the storytelling project does not require a moral or a lesson, you still delivered one, and that was in and of itself an amazing achievement and an addition to the story. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗀. Now let's move towards our next speaker, that is Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, and he is going to be evaluated by very dedicated Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗜𝗍𝒑. So over to you, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗧.
Okay. TM Naveed, this spoke on a topic which makes us think about the future, I can immediately recall the film I, Robot by Will Smith, and it transforms us back into that artificial world of superintelligence and all that artificiality, and all sorts of machinery and gadgets related to it. Okay. Seeing your evaluation form made me a bit confused, but I tried my level best to evaluate you. In the loudness or volume portion, the first portion, I thought that you protected yourself well in the speech, and you spoke well and clearly. However, I thought that you had a bit of a flat tone, and you should have been more vibrant and dynamic. Increase your pitch a bit and bring it down. And the second portion, pitch, I thought your pitch was a bit too low, and it should have been a bit more high and varied. Then the voice quality, I thought your voice quality was mellow, comfortable, open, and you again spoke well, and you were quite comfortable speaking in front of the audience. Articulation, I thought you had good articulation during the time you spoke. You used good words. You were, you spoke well with good pronunciation, good words, and had good pauses during the time you spoke. And also, in the timing or rate section, I thought you spoke well during the time you spoke. However, you spoke well during the time you spoke. You were smooth, fluent. However, I thought you lacked a bit of excitement in your speech. You should have got that factor in your speech, to bring it more, make it more exciting to the audience. Maybe throw in a bit of, make it a bit more hilarious, increase and decrease your vocal variety. And last but not the least, I thought in the vocal variety section, in your vocal variety section, you're quite natural, and I like the way you had a smooth flow in your speech. And however, since you had a flat tone throughout your speech, you lacked vocal variety and could have conveyed, which made you not convey your emotions well during the you spoke. Since bringing about vocal variety could have brought more emotions in your speech. And with that, I would like to conclude by saying that you definitely are a pretty good speaker, and with the improvements mentioned in my evaluation, you definitely will become a better speaker in the future.
Vote for the best table topic speaker. The link has been put.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗋𝗧, for your very comprehensive and a meticulous evaluation. Now, our next speaker is a gentleman, Lateef. Toastmaster Lateef's speech is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗜𝗡. Over to you, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗜𝗡.
Thank you, Team Asher. Lateef means gentle. The title took me over. And the next thing which I liked is your bright white shirt. You started with a very low tone, and you bring us to immediately you bring us to your main subject, which is your communication style, and you narrated there are 4 styles, and then you said what is your primary style, which is initiating and supporting. Your camera work was very good, lighting was very good, and your body language, eye contact, your confidence was shown there. First time I experienced your speech, so this is what I immediately grabbed, that the qualities. What could be better? You started in a very low tone, so that could have been better if you start with a question, with a quote, or something that grabs their attention immediately. Because the latter part of your subject or your speech requires a medium tone. So you can balance it with a start with a very energetic voice. Same thing, I missed your smile in that speech. And I missed that what was the impact of your initiating and your supportive style of communication on your life? And you mentioned two instances, but I felt that the instance when you wrote a letter to your customer, what was the impact? What was the impact of your initiating and supportive style? What does it make positive impact on your life, or it was otherwise? One more thing I noticed, it was a very well structured speech, but I noticed that the instance of lady in the red could have been on the top. When you were saying, when you are delivering the drawbacks of your non-directive or non-analytical communication style. So you should have said that I was not having that direct or analytical style, so I missed that opportunity. It could have created humor into speech, and also the structure of speech, in my opinion, could have been further better. With this, I would like to congratulate you that the speech was as it requires, that you have mentioned all four type of communication, and then you chose your communication style, and you told us that what are your communication style. Thank you very much.
Toastmaster 𝗙𝗘𝗃𝗧𝗏 for your comprehensive and evaluation of the gentleman Toastmaster Latif. Now, our next speaker was distinguished Toastmaster 𝗙𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗏, and he is a very lucky person, as he is going to be evaluated by my mentor, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗏𝗀𝗏. Over to you, the mentor.
Thank you, General Evaluator. 𝗙𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏 is one of those perfect speakers. He's really hard to evaluate because you have to dig really deep to scrape up even a tiniest bit of dirt. So in the start, I will say that the basics of the speech were really good. The clarity and the vocal variety, the gestures were extremely well used. One of the great things about this speech was that it was a unified experience. So always, for an audience, a speech is an experience. And the way the topic and the song and the story, it all merged. It created a unified experience that makes a great speech. Now, a slight point of improvement I would like to say is that 𝗙𝗍𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏 should be careful when he's like changing the mood of the speech. So, for example, at one point I was noticing that he was talking about a serious thing, and then suddenly he started to sing after that. The song was really good attention grabber at the start, but when it was a serious point and it started immediately after, it actually interrupted a bit of the story. So it's although it's a great thing to like draw the audience in, it's important to maintain the consistency of tone that then creates an impactful story. But that's a minor point. I needed to say something, so I did. And overall, it was a great speech, and it's always a pleasure to hear DT and Tala on stage. Over to you, General Evaluator.
So our next evaluator is Toastmaster 𝗙𝗲𝗰𝗲𝗀, and he is going to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Well, I think in last 1 month or so, I am evaluating Toastmaster Asghar for the 3rd time. And it's just a coincidence that we somehow managed to pair up in different meetings. Anyways, 2 qualities that Toastmaster Asghar has that are very unique, that I haven't seen anybody else use those traits as effectively as he does. One of the things that he is always present at the moment, and he knows how to use the word of the day effectively in his speeches. So fiercely, he used it today for his mother-in-law. As always, he was blunt and direct, and what more can you prove to be blunt than to address your mother-in-law in that way? So, and the other quality that Toastmaster Asghar has is the use of humor. Even in a very dry topic, he somehow manages to bring out the humor out of it and makes the audience laugh. This is not an easy trait, by the way. I've tried it and I know how difficult it is. And this comes out of him naturally. Toastmaster Asghar, your speech was full of vocabulary and the flow in such a short speech and the use of the words, it just shows how fluent and how much command you have over the language. There was one area of improvement that I would like to highlight was when you came onto the stage, you were rubbing your hand constantly as if you were going to fight with somebody. So I would suggest that if you can just steeple, not rub your hand, steepling is fine. And also, I would suggest that if you can control that steepling, because during most of the duration of your speech, your hands were steepled or you were rubbing and they were not falling down. So if you can just control that thing. And one more area of improvement is that if you can just open up, I haven't seen you use your hands like this. So you deliver your message greatly with voice modulation, with your expressions, but your body language somehow is lacking sometimes. Overall, you achieved the objectives of this project with flying colors. You shared your experience, that how you managed to torment your tormentor through your blogging experience, and how you managed to build a team of your friends to write about the local subjects. So overall, a very well delivered speech, just few additions, and you already have all the traits for a great speaker. And with those additions, you can become even more effective. Over to you, General.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗲𝗰𝗲𝗀. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Karim Meghani, and he is going to be evaluated by a very melodious Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗰𝗲𝗀.
How many in this room and those who are online remember the character Rosie?
Rosie, yes. I wasn't born then.
So most of us remember the character Rosie. And who would forget Lou's talk with Anwar Maqsood? Yes, I'm talking about our very own, the legend, the versatile actor, Moin Akhtar. So Toastmaster Karim Meghani was giving a project on social speeches from the visionary communication. And this was his second social speech from the elective. So social speech, the project, he was required to tell us about a legend. So from the project point of view, he delivered the speech perfectly. Now, coming to what the content was, unfortunately, there was a lot of disturbance in this speech, in this project. But I tried my best to focus on his speech and his content. So from the content point of view, he started off by gaining some interest, by giving a background as to what Moin Akhtar and what were the interviews with his Anwar Maqsood and 𝗙𝗎𝗎𝗎. So at least from that point of view, he grabbed the attention of the audience. Now, coming to his body language and eye contact. So let me start with eye contact. I always love his speeches because I think he keeps the camera at certain length on a tripod stand, which I strongly believe that that must be a tripod stand, and he's able to contact the audience directly into the camera. So eye contact was perfect. Body language, he was able to use his hands. However, in my previous evaluation, I've already recommended Toastmaster Kareem to use the stage properly. Toastmaster Kareem, you were standing at one point and one position. I would recommend in your future speeches, please use the stage like I am doing right now. Just a recommendation. Yes, there was a disturbance, and the speaker, if I would have been a speaker, I would have been disturbed and I would not have properly given my project. But hats off to you that you delivered your project and completed it perfectly. Maybe because of that, your voice was on a very flat tone. Maybe you were not able to properly focus. So my recommendation would be that whenever there is something which you would like to emphasize, please raise your voice or lower it down. For me, it sounded like a very flat tone throughout the speech. Nevertheless, the project went very well. Full marks to you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗎𝗧. Now, we are done with our prepared speeches.
My speech evaluator.
Sorry. My mistake. So our last speaker was Toastmaster 𝗙𝗎𝗧𝗏, and he's going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Mohammad Azhar Khan.
Everyone. Toastmaster Saad is very young, fresh, and passionate person. And today his topic is know your sense of the humor. It's very good, and I like this topic. He starts from his speech from the history legends comedian Charlie Chaplin. I never forget Charlie Chaplin because when I was I think it's in my childhood. So I watched his acting and comedy. I never forget this. And all comedy, especially Charlie Chaplin, I never forget. Basically, Saad learned about this topic and shared his views and perspective. That's all good. I really appreciate this topic and his perspective and views. And basically, he's discussing about the laughing. Why should you laugh? And why you have to laugh? If you laugh with anyone, that's good. But I think you will laugh on anyone. I think it's a no. If you laugh anyone, it means you have an art. But you should use your art constructive side, not a destructive side. That's my opinion. Because if you laugh on anyone, maybe someone lose his confidence. Maybe he lose his objective and goals. Recently, I in the first my introduction, I give my personality when I was quite young and then was in school. So and after school, I joined the college and university. So I failed many times, but no one encouraged me. Maybe someone encouraged me, not laugh at me. Maybe I pass in a one time and I get my point very in short time, maybe. But today I listen this topic, so I remember all kind of activities. So this topic conclusion is people will laugh with you if they laugh with you good, or if they laugh at you they are just or stupid. It's you suggest and you use your ability. This is my point.
Now ask for the timer and thoughts, and then we will move outside while the librarian presents it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
Everybody, please log in through Zoom.
what about
We are moving outside.
the table topic
We've been
evaluation?
told to vacate this.
What about the table topic evaluation? We will have a
Yeah.
Okay. So timer. No.
All are qualified.
All are
Okay.
qualified to vote
So
for this.
all are qualified. So please cast your vote for the best speaker. So we are going to have answer the session.
Who is the table topics evaluator?
𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗧.
Yeah, so he
PDF.
can start the evaluation. Meanwhile, we can move outside.
So let's move towards the distinguished Toastmaster, 𝗙𝗘𝗃𝗧𝗏𝗧 for the table topic evaluation. So over to you, distinguished Toastmaster 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗏𝗧.
Let's start by the
Thank you, General Evaluator. I hope I am audible. Am I audible? Thank you, Toastmaster Saad. Thank you, General Evaluator, for handing me over the charge for evaluating the table topic session. Again, the table topic session were amazing today, and for me, they represent this session represent the real spirit of Toastmasters. And as a Toastmaster, we are expected to speak whenever we are asked to speak. And today, everyone spoke from their heart. Our first speaker was DTM Maria. The topic given to her was the best celebration you ever take part in. Well, DTM Maria, you are a seasoned speaker, no doubt about it. Salutations were there. You shared a personal story, which is a very great technique to engage the audience, and you acknowledge the contribution of all the members. Area of improvement, I can only suggest that next time you can try delivering your speech by standing up. My favorite part about your speech was when you said that Toastmaster was a newborn baby at that time. So that line is my favorite in your speech. And wish you all the best, and I hope to see more of you in the future. Our next speaker was Mariam Aftab, and she was given the topic endurance during difficult time, and good times will definitely come up. So again, she's a great speaker. I have heard her speak a lot in our past meetings. Salutations were there, voice modulation was there, great hand movements. She shared a personal experience as a mom, which again is a great technique to engage the audience. And she demonstrated great use of pauses from transitioning from one point to the next. Area of improvement, I can only suggest that next time you can try delivering your speech by standing up. The favorite part in your speech, my favorite part in your speech was when you said that she is my daughter, she is my life. So wonderful line. And wish you all the best and congratulations. Next speaker was Toastmaster Taha. You were given the topic, you might find me silent, but I am celebrating in my imagination. So great hand movements, eye contact was there. It's small, but a very good content. Area of improvement, simply that you should try taking all the time in the world. Until and unless the red light is turned on, you should blatantly refuse to leave the stage. You do not have to speak about the content. You can share anything with us, any personal experience, the traffic jam, are you excited about the cricket match today, just refuse to leave the stage and say no to the dictator, that is the timer. So I hope to listen more. So I hope to listen more of your great speeches in the future. Wonderful job. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Naveed Aslam. He was given, I think, a very difficult topic: 50th anniversary of marriage, best celebration of life. So Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, eye contact was there, body language and hand movements were there, great structure, and by great structure I mean opening, body, and conclusion. All the key elements of a great speech were present in your speech, and smooth transition from the humorous to the serious part of your speech. So that was a great technique. Area of improvement, you forgot to give salutations, and you could use a stage a bit more. Uh, my favorite part in your speech was, every passing year is a different experience. A beautiful line, in my opinion. So, in conclusion, I can only say that I still cannot believe that Dr. Salim is gone, and he gave me my first table topics, my favorite food, and DT Maria was timer on that day. And I congratulate Karachi Toastmaster and all the office holders for celebrating our great achievements. With this, I would like to hand over the lectern to our great general evaluator, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗍𝗍𝗓. Toastmaster Ali, are you there? Toastmaster Ali? I hope I am audible. Toastmaster Latif once said to me that you should also speak some points about the table topic master as well. So well, I was very happy to see our table topic master after such a long time. And again, his performance was very great. And I really hope to see more of him in the future as well. So, DTM Tala, are you back?
Thank you so much. Yeah.
The charge is all yours.
Actually, we were in the process of being kicked out of the room, and we have successfully made the transition from room to the parking lot. And now our general evaluator, since he's also the sergeant at arms, he's winding up the affairs in the room. So I'm also the acting general evaluator right now. So I will now ask our wonderful grammarian for the day, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗧, to present his report.
Thank you, Acting General Evaluator. I will note in this part 3 general mistakes I've found, and these are just tips to keep in mind. First of all, having an article for every noun is important. So the sentence spoken was, they had solution to every problem. It should be, they had a solution to every problem. Second is, we should not use two past tense words in the same sentence. So it should not be, I could not found a solution. It should be, I could not find a solution. Use past only once in a sentence. And the third is, put the subject in the front of the sentence. So whatever my manager gave me the points should be whatever points my manager gave me. That's it from me. Over to you, Acting General Evaluator.
Okay. So now let's move towards the accountant, that is Toastmaster Taha Hassan. Over to you, Toastmaster Taha Hassan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So today I evaluated the ums, ers, and the pauses that were made in the speech, and I concluded upon that it was everybody did really nice speech, but there were some pauses and some ums and some ahs in it as well. Pauses were the most, but they were all short pauses, which was really great because it's better to pause short than for a lot of time. And that's all. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Okay. Grammarian is done.
Almost everybody.
Okay. So let's move towards the listener Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗃𝗧𝗏. Over to you, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗃𝗧𝗏.
Wait, I have to take out my.
आराम से no hurry.
सब हो गया?
And even people over here.
Again.
Listen to this. Story itself was amazing. Who said it?
Oscar.
No. Anyone from the visual audience?
Umar Hayat?
Okay. Character of loose woman. Character of loose woman.
Oscar, Toastmaster.
I hope no one said that.
No. No one said that.
I hope to God no one said that.
Okay, I'm gonna. Sorry.
Not.
Please correct. No worry.
Look. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I just.
Oscar.
Yes, you are listening. You're reading this part.
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
I was his evaluator.
Okay. Moving and watering. Yes. Moving and watering. Hello. Moving and watering. It's Namola.
Moving and watering.
That's good.
Ready?
Yes. Ready to. Finally. Okay. I take solace in the fact. No.
Team Asghar, Aditya Amtala.
Okay. Being calm and gentle. You being calm and gentle helps you make friends.
Team Latif.
Yes. Okay. Who I give to? Do a censorship.
Naveed?
Yes. Okay, with a flash.
With a flash.
Isn't the virtual audience speaking any?
They can't see us, I think. They can't.
They can.
They can.
Obviously.
Look at him. He's
Oh my God. Please, the virtual audience, unmute yourself and say something. This is really funny. With the flash, who spoke it? Oh my God. Composer. Yes. Empathize.
Oh, empathize.
Just the word empathize.
Yes. Virtual audience, please speak up. TM Kareem, TM Latif.
Azhar Khan.
TM, okay, empathize? No.
No.
Empathize. Everyone was dead today.
I didn't.
TM Shamam. Okay, it is not about you. It is not about me. It is not, it is not about you. It is not about me. It is about us. No, TM Shamam.
Again?
Yes. Working woman is not for fun.
Team Raha Farooq.
Yes. Okay. Fanatically pulling in from the conveyor belt.
Toastmaster Naveed.
Yes. And that's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we are done with our all role holders. Now
Yes, I know.
it's time for my evaluation. So what a wonderful evening it is. Moon was just right on my top. And
the guards were on your back.
yes, they're staring at us like we are doing something suspicious. But we are doing our meeting. And I think this is the best way to celebrate and construct a great moment. No one can think that we are having our meeting in the parking lot. It is a great moment, a memory to be remembered. And we all are creating the memories like that friction in our hands. So all together, that was a great meeting, and I hope that we all are enjoyed it a lot. So over to you, the president or the acting president, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗪𝗲.
Yeah, I will hand over now to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sameer. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗧𝗪𝗲. I really appreciate it. But I think that at the end, the presiding officer has to have the last word. So my friend, you're the presiding officer, and I hand it over to you. A lovely meeting, fantastic. And as I said, in memory of Dr. Salim, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Everyone, please vote for the best Big Four. The poll is appearing in the, yeah, it is done. So everyone, please vote for the best Big Four. And with that, I will ask our vote counter. But first, let me announce the results for the Critics' Choice Awards. So our secret critic for today has ranked all the speakers according to the International Speech Contest ballot. And I have the results with me. And it does not mean that I was the critic. It means that the critic has handed over the results to me, just like they do to the president. Third place winner was Toastmaster Shamam. Second place winner, DTM Talha bin Hamid. And first place winner, no wonder because he's the district public speaking champion, Toastmaster Farooq. Congratulations. The critics' choice for best facilitator was a tough task, and ultimately it went to Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗀𝗡𝗚. Thank you so much for your wonderful job as evaluator. And with that, I'll hand over the floor now to Toastmaster Saad, who will announce the voting results. Over to you, Saad.
Okay, everyone. So the moment that all of us were anxiously waiting for, the best speaker, the best speakers, the best evaluators, the best Big Four. So 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 the best speaker award goes to by a very small margin Toastmaster Farooq. The best and the best table topic speaker goes to again by a very small margin, DTM Maria. The best prepared speech evaluator by a long way, Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗏𝗧. The best Big Four goes to again by a very small margin because all of you were not were not uh, were not were not actually were not actually 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 voting. So so the best Big Four goes to our very own Toastmaster of the day, immediate past DD, Toastmaster Samir Hamid Dodri. Over to you.
Thank you so much, vote counter. And with that, we are finally able to bring our meeting to a close. But there were a couple of miracles that took place with this meeting. First of all, it took place in 3 places. Second of all, it had a full roster of speakers and role players. And third of all, despite all that, it is ending right on time. I don't know how this happened, whether we were stuck in a time warp or something, but I have to congratulate the executive committee, particularly Toastmaster 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗧 and Toastmaster 𝗙𝗢𝗏𝗏𝗧. You could see their efforts on the screen, the way they applied themselves and the way they dived fully into making this meeting a success. Without their support, this meeting wouldn't have happened the way it did. I'm thankful to everyone who participated online too. And in future, inshallah, we are again looking to continue this trend, maybe not immediately next week, but the week after that, we will be holding another hybrid meeting. Too bad we were only told after we were well into the meeting that we had to vacate the room by 9 o'clock. Otherwise, we would have arranged the meeting around that. But I think it was great fun. It demonstrates our resilience. It demonstrates how hell bent upon we are in carrying out a Toastmasters meeting. So once again, my heartfelt thanks to our founder, DTM Salim. My heartfelt thanks to our mentor, DTM Samir. My heartfelt thanks to everyone who achieved a level completion or completed a pathway or delivered a project. And my heartfelt thanks to everyone who competed in a contest, because all of you have worked together to bring unprecedented, unparalleled glory to our club, our area, our division, and our district. So, despite this being my home club, I'm very, very fortunate because even if it were not my home club, I would have said it with pride that one of the clubs in the district is the #1 club in the world, and no other club in the entire region of Region 11, which is East Africa, Middle East, and Pakistan, can match this achievement. And that is something we've achieved together. So with that, I thank all of you for joining us today and see you all next week. And once again, love you all. Toastmaster Latif, do you want to say something?
Is it possible for whoever present over there can come in that one window? So I can grab a picture.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
Or to
take a selfie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, guys.
What does he want? He just wants all
For
of us
everyone to come.
To break the SOPs.
Yeah, to break the SOPs.
Everyone, come on.
Everyone picture.
Please have some respect. Okay?
Yes. Now, 4, 3, 2.
Anyone, please take a picture. This is the
I'll
world's
take a picture. One more time. One. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and see you all next week.
Thank you. Stay blessed.
The very